Hi there, good evening. Welcome to the Adam Show. This evening what we'll be doing for you is just preparing some simple popcorn for simple evenings in. When the weather's what it is outside, as you can see, dark, rainy, you want nothing more than just to snuggle up in bed with your loved one. All you need is some standard popcorn. Today we're going to be using some olive oil and some sea salt. So first of all, let's go ahead and open up our popcorn. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of olive oil here onto the pan, as you can see. Some use butter. I would sometimes use butter if you're in a healthy mood. You can just use the olive oil. Much more organic. We're using today Lidl's Finest, which is a beautiful Italian olive oil here. Really has those strong flavours that I think just add a certain depth to what we'll be preparing. So if you come over here towards the pan, you can see that the oil's just slowly going to start to heat up. I've got it on like a benchmark 6 at the moment. Afterwards we're going to need a bowl to put them all in, so make sure you've already pre-prepared a bowl for your popcorn needs. I'm just using a standard, nice floral golden one here this evening. So we're just going to wait and let this sort of just heat up slightly. I mean, feel free to use as much oil as you sort of prefer. I mean, I tend to like mine quite dry. However, if you want a lot more of those olive oil flavours or your butter flavours, feel free to use slightly more. Just beware not to use too much, otherwise it can ruin the flavour. So once this is all heated up, we're going to go ahead and add some of our corn kernels. It would be useful if you put on the wrong pan to actually switch on the right pan, because I've actually switched on the wrong one, so we're going to have to wait a few more minutes here. So let me just tell you a bit about our cooking channel that we have here this evening. We are very low budget here at this programme, but we believe in fine, healthy, hearty foods on a budget. I mean, nowadays, I can see from this window 4 or 5 restaurants. I prefer to cook at home. I know what's going inside, I know what ingredients I'm using. It's simple. And as the French like to say, voila. I have a cabinet here full of some of my favourite flavours. Your standard salt and pepper. I personally prefer to use a bit of paprika here and there. We also have some garlic powder. Now this, I feel in most recipes, just draws out some of those flavours. Really enhances it. Not too much, otherwise you'll have garlic breath for the rest of the evening and you'll have no woman trying to kiss you. That's right, everyone. So, this is slowly starting to heat up. Now once it has, I'm going to just walk through what we're going to do now this evening. We're going to put the kernels in, add some of the salt, and once you hear the first kernel popping, you want to cover it with a lid. So I've got mine here, pre-prepared, just going to quickly cover it up afterwards. Some like to use a thicker pan. I personally prefer this size. It gives a much larger surface area and you get a much more wholesome flavour in at the end of the evening. So this is now heated. Yeah, it's working. I'll give it a few more seconds. In fact, I think I'm actually going to add a tiny bit more of this olive oil here. Just really going to enhance some of those flavours that we're going to be having this evening. Just an anecdote for later on this evening. So just beware, I've actually switched on the wrong one by accident slightly earlier. So now, this is slowly starting to warm up. What I'm going to go ahead and go and do now, see, depending on how many you are, I'm actually eating with a friend of mine this evening. I'm going to add roughly around 1/3. But don't forget, it may look small at the beginning. This does increase in size. I'm actually being told by the cameraman to add some more because she's rather hungry. However, I would advise against using too much. As I say, these do increase in size as we cook, so just beware of that. Always use a wooden handle just to stir these up. What I'm doing now is just making sure all those grains are covered in that beautiful olive oil that we're using. The standard one you can get from Tesco, Sainsbury's, your Monoprix or your Carrefour's if you're in France. depending on where you are in the world. So once we've done that, I'm just going to add some of this salt that we had here earlier prepared. Not too much, but don't forget the salt does add a nice bit of flavour. So, I'm going to go ahead and mix. Some prefer to add some chicken flavour in, or caramel. Personally, I prefer mine plain. I'm going to go ahead now and let this all simmer for a bit. It'll take a few minutes. We're going to take a pause now on our recording, and we'll come back to you in a short second.